guys got here, most of them we've done with before. So essentially we just wanted to get everybody together and to go over some of the projects that we are working on currently and what we have coming up. And then also we want to give you guys opportunities to ask us questions, and we'll be happy to answer anything that we're able to. I will say that there are a lot of great things going on in Hoschton right now, and we could not do it without our city staff. So thank you guys for that. Yes. Okay. So the first thing, our first big project that we completed is our North Water Tower. So that it's the North Water Tower. It is completed. It is scheduled to go online in about 60 days. So we're looking forward to that. It does look great. I'm sure everybody has seen it at this point. We are possibly exploring some ideas as far as adding to it. And I say that we want to consider, we're having difficulties up here. Exploring options to add on a Jack's Cove. So if you guys have children that are in our school system, next to the Panther Paw is Jack's Cove, which is kind of like our community school slogan per se. So we're considering adding that on next to the paw. So those are some really great things for the water tower that we have coming up. Again, in case you couldn't hear me earlier, it is completed and it's scheduled to go online in about 60 days. All right, so the next one we're gonna do is gonna be the wastewater treatment plant for the phase 2 of it. And if Council Member Adam Ledbetter would like to do that one. Thank you.
Good evening. We just finished our phase 1. They got our plant up to 500,000 gallons of sewer capacity. So we are working with the City of Hoschton's working with our engineering firm EMI, and we're in the planning stages of phase 2 wastewater upgrade that will take the sewer capacity from 500,000 to 900,500. And working with them here soon, we should be expected to find the start dates for this. But that's where we're at on the wastewater treatment phase 2.
All right, so another thing we have going on is the city owns 2 acres right off of Oak Street. And so we've been kind of going back and forth on what we would like to see done with that property. We have right now the ideas of possibly putting out picnic tables, maybe a grill, keep it open because it is completely clear. It is woodsy per se, so we're wanting to leave it open, leave some fresh air. So we would love to hear feedback. We have spoken with some of the neighbors who live right by the property. We don't want to impose on them, but we do want to make sure we leave that as open space. So again, we are looking for feedback. We would love to hear what your guys' thoughts are on it. And it actually is just right over there, if you guys have ever seen it. It's just right across the street. So that's what we're working on with that. We still don't have anything set in stone. It is open for suggestion. So we would love to hear what you guys have to say on that. Okay, so next we will talk about our wells. Mr. Lawson, if you would please.
Thank you very much. The City of Hoschton entered into a contract in 2020 with Emery Garrett. It's a groundwater exploration company that goes out to different cities and tries to find viable well sites to keep us from being dependent on other cities for our water, like Jackson County, Winder, Barrow County, Brazelton. So that's what we're trying to do as a City of Hoschton, is to find potential spaces to drill and to see what would be potential for us to hook into our existing system. Right now we got two drills that are being explored. One of them has really good potential of giving us the right amount of gallons per minute. So that way we can tie it right into our system. So that's where we're at as far as the wells. Two things that makes your city grow. You got the water and you got sewer. And we gotta increase both of those to keep up with our growth. Thank you.
And to go along with that, we are going to do an update on our water and sewer line upgrades. Councilmember Carswell, if you will, please.
Good evening, y'all. If you haven't noticed, if you're looking at some of the streets, some of the work that's been going on, we've got a street or two torn up where the sewer line has been going in for upgrades of our water treatment plant. So we're on track with that. It will be going online in the next several months as well. And then also our water line upgrades. In downtown, we got quite a few old lines, some much older than others. These new water lines will also enhance, because we've now got this first 500,000 gallon water tank going online, to be able to transport that water properly and more efficiently. And then we'll also be ready for our next tower that goes up later in the year, or begins to go up later in the year. You'll be seeing some of the streets in downtown being cut. These new water lines will go in the actual roadway and not in the right-of-way, so that the work can be more efficiently done and a little less disruptive of all the homeowners.
So this one has been a long time coming. I think they've been working on it for well over a year. But our new city hall, we should be breaking ground on that this summer. Should be in there by the end of the year. We're also, along with the city offices, there will also be another meeting space. It can also be rented out, because I don't know if you've ever tried to rent our depot, but we stay booked. So we will also have another option as far as renting that out as well. And we are also going to have a restaurant located in there. So again, we would love some feedback on what kind of food you guys would like to see in there. It's important that we all have our input and our say-so, so we definitely need you guys to give us some ideas and let us know what you guys think. Okay, next will be our Panther Court project that we've been working on for quite some time. Councilmember Mims, if you will, please.
Hello. Sounds really loud with me standing right in front of it. Can everybody hear me okay?
That's a good thing.
In 2019, the city of Hoschton received a community development block grant for the amount of $600,000 for Panther Court. They've had some issues with the grinder pumps. Currently, we're finalizing the last 2 easements to begin this project. And once that project's completed, they'll be connected to sewer, so there'll no longer be a use for the grinder pumps. So hopefully we have that done pretty soon here. Thank you.
All right, and the last project, that's one of our bigger projects that we have going on right now, is going to be our Mulberry property. It is 7 acres, and so Dr. Sterling, if you would like to come and give us an update on that, please.
Good evening. Okay, the Mulberry property, the city plans to move the playground equipment. It's right back here. They're going to move that playground equipment. They're going to move that playground equipment to the Mulberry property. And the reason for that is because the playground will be a bigger space. And the second reason is because it will be safer for the children. You know, 53 is a very busy thoroughfare through the city of Hoschton. And so once it's moved to the Mulberry property, then it will be safer for the children. Thank you.
also, just to add to that, we are going to be using impact fees, so that is going to be very helpful in upgrading playgrounds and outdoor space for our children. And we have had a few things that the council has been throwing around for the Mulberry property. Shannon has been working on getting some updates for us on that, so if he can please come up here and give us an update.
Good evening, everybody. You hear me okay? Yep. So, like Dr. Sterling said, we're gonna close the I call it the kiddie park behind us here. We're actually gonna sell this equipment. It's old equipment, 20 plus years old, they tell me. And we're gonna do a new park over here at the 7 acres. Hoschton bought that property last year. We bought it mostly with impact fee money. That's what the park's recreation is. We're gonna spend that money and put a nice new park over here. It's because I touch it. For the rest of that, we're gonna go ahead and do some clearing on the front, get rid of some of the trees, so we're gonna make a nice lawn out there, hopefully here within the next month or two, and try to get that ground prepped for when this, when the Fall Festival comes around in October. We've got good additional parking space. If it pours down rain that weekend, we're gonna probably be out of luck. I mean, because it'll just turn into a muddy mess. We don't plan on putting gravel on it yet. But anyhow, we'll have a nice area to park in. We'll have the guys go through there and put stakes up and ribbons to kind of make parking lanes for you to get in and out of there. The Fall Festival this year is a huge barbecue competition. Evidently, it's I don't know, maybe a southeastern state level. We're expecting a huge impact from the barbecue competition. If you were here last year, you saw how many people we had, so parking's kind of at a premium. The old house that's over there, when we bought that property, there's an old house on it, that the one that people were actually living in when we bought it. We've semi-gutted it. Beautiful old architecture. It's probably a century-old home. We've kind of turned it over really to the DDA to let them choose its next life. I would really like to have a nice high-end restaurant moving there. It takes some major remodeling. It'd have to have a commercial kitchen added onto it, some handicap-type bathrooms. But I think I'm no different than anybody here. I mean, I live here in town. We all hate to have to cross I-85 to go to eat and to leave town. So I think it'd be a nice addition. We're about to put a new roof on it. The roof on it has not been done in, you can tell, decades. We put tarps on it last year to kind of get us through the winter. But we're going to fix it up real nice, and hopefully our DDA makes a deal with somebody fairly soon that, this time next year, hopefully it's something that we're occupying. The city's leasing out, making some money on a place that you can go and hopefully eat, enjoy. But we don't have a concrete plan on that today. So by all means, if you're interested in leasing it, putting a restaurant in it, putting a business in it, want it for a second home, come talk to us. I mean, we kind of got it with the property. I have fought like crazy with these guys, not Lauren, but the guys about, they wouldn't tear it down. That's right, I see Diane shaking her head. She's like, no, and we have to preach, no, we're not gonna tear it down. It's got too cool of architecture to it. So finally, we've got them all talked in and, okay, let's make something out of it. So give us a little time. If you got ideas, we're willing to listen. But if you haven't seen it, it's a dead-end street, Mulberry Street, right the 2nd Street on the left. Pull down there, it's locked up and stuff, but you can drive around it, look at it. It's a cool house. A lot of high roof peaks too. What else?
All right. So our other thing that we have coming up, our largest one, is going to definitely be our South Tower over on Jovina Way in Shannon.
can't miss it. Everybody's seen our new water tank, right? Yep. We're really happy with this. 2 years ago, we hired the manager. He came in, and the first thing he said is, "What you got for water storage?" And I pointed to him. This is it. And this is a 100,000 gallon tank. State law, whatever they say, you're supposed to have so many days capacity in a water tank, big fires, pressure, all that bit. We weren't meeting it. So we immediately got to work and went in the water tank business. And the first one's just about done behind us. We ought to have that completely online, within 60 days for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if it was 30 days. Really happy with it. We got $600,000 grant on it. It's about $1.7 million in the total cost of it. We have already purchased property on the south end of town, back where the bank just got torn down. Behind it, we bought a lot there. That tower will be $1 million. So it'll be twice the size of the one that just got built, 10 times the size of this one. And as we all know, Hoschton is growing in that direction, and that was really to make sure we had not only water pressure, but enough water in there for fire safety. And so as Hoschton grows in that area, it will take care of the increased growth in the Coulter, Twin Lakes, Crestwinds development. A lot of those houses are really close together. Last thing you want is a fire to start off at one and start spreading to several of them and not have enough water to put them out. So, and we're back after another grant to go to it. That'll be about a $2.5 million project. We should be starting construction. Everything goes well, summer of next year. And it'll take 6-8 months to build. We made really good time on the one behind us. I mean, all of you had to see it going up and how quick once they got all the parts, we waited a long time for steel. But once they got the steel there, it was like a puzzle. They just went up with it, and it was really cool to kind of watch. If you hadn't noticed, when you come down I-85 coming north, you go under the Highway 211 bridge, you can see our tank sticking above this tree line. So it's kind of cool for us to see.
All right, Chief Hill, you'll have to give us an update on the police department.
Good afternoon, everybody. I probably don't need a mic. Can y'all hear me fine? No. I'm pretty outspoken. No? No? How about that? All right, so, what y'all got back there? Can you hear me? That's my Steadfast Farms folks back there.
Can you stop the traffic?
Yeah, I can. I see my Steadfast people back there. So, it's been a long time coming, and we are up and running 100%. So, if y'all don't know, I've moved out of City Hall. We're down here at the building now at the corner of 332 and 53. The only employee I have right now at this time is my assistant, Ms. Cheryl Davis. She works Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. As of today, we have posted a position for another officer. My vision is, I come in, if y'all don't know, I come in at 7 o'clock every morning and do school traffic. So that usually puts me out by 4 or 5 o'clock every afternoon. I need to go home. So my vision now is to get another officer that will work Monday through Friday the same and work from 2 to 10 and keep coverage in the city at least till 10 p.m. And then, of course, after 10 p.m., the county will continue to cover Hoschton. But with the shortage of law enforcement right now the sheriff's office is short 38 people. It's a field that people don't want to be in hardly anymore, especially the danger that it is. But I don't look for us to have any problems hiring somebody. I hope we get another real good officer here. I think that we'll have some real good candidates come up, and I look forward to it. Like I say, we're 100% up and running. The department is open to any of you. If anybody want to come and talk to me, my door is open all the time. If that Durango's sitting out at the police department, I'm there. I'm sure y'all see me out in the neighborhoods. I try and get out and ride around all the subdivisions and most as I can in between calls and meetings, and picking up investigations now. I do want to mention one thing, talking about investigations. The biggest thing I got going right now is, if y'all don't know, especially you Chris Wind and Twin Lakes folk, we had some internados the other night. So if y'all would do me a favor, please lock your car when you go into the house. The problem with being this close to the interstate and having subdivisions is you get the riffraff from Atlanta. They come up here and they break into cars at night, and then they go back to Atlanta. And that's exactly what happened the other night when they came into Twin Lakes. The credit cards were used down in Roswell, Powder Springs, Alpharetta. So pretty much what they do is they come up here and they steal stuff out of the cars, then they go back down there and use your credit cards, guns that they stole out of the car. So please, if you have valuables in the car, lock it up. That helps out. You hardly ever see, with an internado situation, anybody bust the window and take stuff out of the car. It does happen every once in a while. You know, if they see a pocketbook or something laying there, they'll bust the window. But if you would just simply just lock your car, that would be great. So what they do is they come up from Atlanta. You know, these people sleep during the day, and then they come up here at night, breaking something when everybody else is sleeping. When the honest people are asleep, they're up here still. So. Can you hear me now? So the, like I say, when the honest people are sleeping, that's when the thieves are out stealing in the cars. So please lock your cars up. Like I say, if y'all ever have any questions, I got an open door policy. Come see me, and hopefully we'll get another officer here. And I'd like to hire some part-time people to work on the weekends. We don't want it to be a huge department, but we are to the point where we need to leave one more full-time person. Anybody got any questions for me?
Now we are going to get started on citizen input or any questions that you guys have. We did get a few that were already emailed in, so I'm just going to run through those real quick. Might have duplicate questions from you guys, so let me take care of that real quick. Two of the questions actually pretty much have the same answer. One of them is traffic study at Peachtree and 53, and then the other one is traffic study at Twin Lakes Boulevard. So both of those areas were done in 2019. Since our last council meeting, when we had a couple of people, I think Mr. Ross especially asking about it, we have reached out to our representative from the DOT twice to try and see if we can get some updates on when we can expect another one to be done by DOT. Now, we have not heard back from them on that. However, Coulter, after they get to 700 COs, they have to do another traffic study. And then after they get to 900 COs, they have to do a second one. So right now, we are at around 380 as far as COs. So we're about halfway there to getting to where Coulter will have to come back out and do another traffic study to cover that area to see where we're at as far as getting some relief there for everybody. Another question that we got is the city manager opening posted online? Yes, it is on our website. It is also on a government website for GMA. We have also reached out to GMA, which, if you're not familiar, it's Georgia Municipality Association. We have asked them for references, and we haven't had too much of feedback on it just yet. So the council has actually discussed raising the salary up to $165 to try and see if we get any hits off that. So we'll see where that goes. We have a couple of feelers out there looking to see who all is interested. What properties do we own? We own about roughly 26 properties. That's going to include our lift stations, our well property, buildings, any type of land that the city owns. It's around 26. So I would suggest, because I know I originally got the question personally emailed to me by someone, and the best way to do it, honestly, if you want to know what all we own, is I would go to Q Public, and you can just type in City of Hoschton, and it is going to pull up everything that the city owns. It's also going to show how much we paid for it, when it was purchased, the address. You would have access to all of that. So, of course, we're happy to help with the city for whoever did submit the question. I would say it would probably save a little bit of time for you if you just wanted to check Q Public. But all in all, without going through every single property, there are about 26. And then we had another question about the public site plan. Mr. Ledbetter?
So we've had many questions about the Publix that is coming on the corner of 53 and Peachtree. The city has not seen the concept. The city has not seen a concept plan. The property is already zoned as commercial. It doesn't need our approval for the Publix to come because it is zoned commercial. We will see the site plans when they apply for building permits. Thanks.
It's so good to see everybody. For those that don't know me, but there's a lot of familiar faces out there that do, my name is Jennifer. I'm the city clerk for the city of Hoschton. And at this time, we're going to have citizen input. So if you have, who has questions? Let's raise our hand if you would like to speak. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Ms. Hall, we'll start with you. You'll come up to the microphone. And before you speak, I'm going to turn this speaker so that they can hear what you're saying. If you'll turn to Ms. Hall, if you'll turn our way, go on the other side of the microphone. See? Is there a green button on?
Cannot hear anything.
We can't hear you.
So what she asked is, who is the second largest property owner of the city of Hoschton? Is that correct? And
You may be thinking about annexing in the near future.
okay, and what property are we thinking about annexing in the near future? Is that correct?
To answer your question, Ms. Hall, Shannon Cell is our second largest landowner. That we just did confirm that for us. And as far as annexing in the future, we actually currently do not have any discussions with anyone regarding annexation. So that has not crossed our desk yet. Who's next? I missed the hands. Where'd they go? Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council, and I apologize if I speak a little bit loud. I would like other folks to hear what I'm going to ask, and it is another question about annexation. I live actually in Southampton Falls, up behind the Publix, but I am a boarder at Steadfast Farms, which is at the city limit of Hoschton right now. And as if people do not know, that farm will be closing July 1st, and that property is for sale, and we understand, we're pretty sure there's a developer that's interested in that. And currently through Jackson County, there is a moratorium on new development. And so it's through November or through October, and it's a two-step process that's a public process for citizens to be able to provide input on annexation through the county. However, the city, of course, you know, is a much quicker process for developers. What I want people to know, and what I'd like the council to understand, is that we have an opportunity here to develop a nature-based outdoor recreation mecca that would serve the multi-generational people in this community, from literally, you know, opportunities for trails, opportunities for things for youth, and parks, I mean, and reserve, you know, possibly even a reservoir there. So there's a lot of opportunity with this 685-acre piece of property that connects to Sells Mill Park, and would actually provide an opportunity and cart paths that you could come to downtown. You could connect the communities out in the county, here in Hoschton, and be able to bring people by cart, you know, into the communities and into the restaurants and into the businesses, where when we have festivals, you can leave your cars at home and be able to come into the downtown area. So, and in the meantime, it would also provide wildlife habitat. You've all seen the deer, you've all seen the wildlife that lives on that farm, and it also has a lot of water storage. That farm holds a ton of water when it rains that people downstream, you know, are benefit from. So I guess what I would like to propose, quite frankly, I would love to propose a partnership between Hoschton and the city and the county of Jackson County. There are opportunities. There's never been a better time through federal investment, federal agency, or federal funding to acquire lands like that. This could be a tourist development opportunity for us. It could be a community opportunity for us, and we have this unique space and time. And I just ask that you keep that in mind in case people come knocking at your doors and asking for annexation. That this is a great opportunity for us.
You're Miss Debbie, aren't you? I knew it, I knew it.
Guilty,
Good
yes.
to meet you in person.
Debbie Captain, I'm sorry for not introducing
That's
myself.
perfectly fine.
And I am an outdoor recreation planner.
Yes,
so.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Debbie. Okay, who is next? Any other speakers or questions?
Yeah, this is a terrible idea.
Can you guys hear it a little bit better? Can you? What about now?
We can hear you, but
Oh, Miss Debbie. Do you?
Get up on the front.
Okay. Yeah, Miss Debbie, just come on up here, hon.
Go, Miss Debbie.
Been a while since I've looked at people without a screen in front of my face. Debbie Caffin, I'm a resident of Jackson County. Hoschton is my community though. I live at Southampton Falls, back behind Publix. My question was about annexation. I'm a boarder at Steadfast Farms, which is the property right at the edge of Hoschton, up 332. You've seen the beautiful horses on the right. That property is for sale, and the horses will be moved as of July 1st. And we believe that there is a developer that is already interested. So the issue for us is, and for this county, is what could that 685-acre parcel of property be in terms of a community asset in a partnership between the City of Hoschton and Jackson County to provide outdoor recreation opportunities for the multi-generational group that we have in Hoschton and Jackson County, where we've got opportunities for trails. We already have 12 miles of trails on that property that we ride with our horses. It would be perfect for biking, for hiking. We could put in connections. We could connect the communities to the City of Hoschton and to the businesses here. It's just an opportunity to let you know that currently, to change the zoning on that, the county of Jackson County has a moratorium on building until the fall. So nothing will change until the fall when they can go before the Board of Commissioners. However, cities have the ability to annex and then allow developers to go. I mean, they could start rolling dozers July 1st as soon as the horses leave. So I'm just challenging the mayor and the council to think about this opportunity in time and what a valuable asset it could be to this community, an economic generator from a tourism perspective, and also continue to provide the habitat for the wildlife. It holds a lot of water. It can provide storage. There's even an opportunity to put a reservoir in there possibly and allow for some of the water needs that we have. So I'm just encouraging them to think of an alternate vision in case a developer does approach them, and I volunteer to help any way I can.
Okay, did we have any other questions, comments, oh, that's right. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, if they can't hear you, you can just come up here. Yeah.
I just have a few questions that I wanted to ask. Councilman Ledbetter spoke about, I think, the sewage capacity. I believe it's had. I think I spoke about it.
Can't hear you.
I just wanted to ask a follow-up on the sewage capacity and the what's currently going on with it and everything, the cost that's involved with the upgrades and how we're going to pay for it, or if we're borrowing money for the upgrades. And also, with our inferior infrastructure and so much growth that's been approved, are there any plans for a city tax, and if so, when? And also, is there any pressure being put on Coulter to address a red light at Peachtree and 53? I understand what was just previously said by the mayor about the 700 CO and then a second one at 900, but the traffic is bad. Actually, I just sat for 15 minutes on Peachtree trying to get on to 53 just to get here. And the traffic was lined up, and once I pulled out, it was still lined up back past to the entrance of Presswind. And the traffic's bad, and actually people are pulling out, they're not stopping, it's turned into a yield instead of a stop sign. So the other thing we need to think about on that is who's going to be responsible, since there's been so much input from the citizens about that intersection. Who's going to actually be held accountable when a tragic accident happens? It's going to be devastating. You know, somebody's going to be held accountable.
Okay, so that was a couple of part questions. I will go ahead and touch on the city tax. Yes, unfortunately, I know it is one of those cuss words, bad words. A city tax is being discussed. Unfortunately, it does take money to run a city, to have the services that other cities and counties do. Roads, water, you know, it takes money. We have to keep the city going. Unfortunately, that's just kind of where we're at right now as far as having to consider. I mean, again, nothing is set in stone, but there have been discussions pertaining to adding on a city tax. Sewage question, Mr. Sell, could you please come address that?
Tell me what you asked, cost? Cost of the upgrades? Yeah, I can't do, I'm about deaf anyhow. So, there's 2 more phases already that we're working on. The one that's gonna happen next, probably gonna be $10–12 million. And the next one is probably gonna be a little bit more. I'm gonna just throw out the number $15 million. All of this is paid by the sewer tap fees. So if you want to build a house in Hoschton today, you come by a sewer tap, water tap permits, but the sewer tap today is $5,000 a house. And there's engineering calculations of how that buys capacity. So that's how it's funded, is straight from new home taps. Just like we just built this water tank, it was paid for from water taps in the grant that we got. Does that make sense? I can't hear you. No, we have not borrowed any money. We got plenty of money for water and sewer. Yeah.
Yeah, y'all do.
And grants.
So
yeah, we've really been blessed with the CARES Act fund and the AA. The relief fund. I mean, we've been really fortunate. I mean, it's a shame America shut down for us to have to get money, but we've got, I don't know, a couple $1 million worth of it's flowing. I mean, and we're spending it. We're making major upgrades. You know, it's going to be a headache for anybody that lives on this side of town for a few months, because we're going to be ripping up lines and putting in new lines, and it's going to be a headache. But the end result, these lines are 50, 60 years old. This tank was built in 1965. So they're just new. They're just new, and we're lucky we got the money to put them in. Yes, ma'am.
Services, road upgrades, water upgrades, staff, police. So all the services, like if you have come from Gwinnett County, you see all the services that you guys get. In the city of Hoschton, we don't have, well, rephrase that, we're getting our police department up and running, and it pretty much is, but as far as all the other services, we are not getting any money coming in to provide them. Does that answer your question? And I feel like I had one more from you. Did we get them all? You would like Coulter to address the red light. Yeah, I mean, I can't speak on behalf of Coulter, so that would be something we would have to reach out to Coulter for. I don't want to speak for them or on behalf of them.
I was looking on the Coulter, that council meeting where the general conditions were approved and the minutes, and I was noticing, and I may not be understanding this, but it refers several times any road and signalization improvements required by the Georgia Department of Transportation and or the City of Hoschton Public Works Department shall be financially responsibility of the owner and developer. And that, and then it also refers to it in actually by Bob Ranmacher of Coulter Homes. He stated that Coulter pays for all improvements to 53 and Peachtree. He says, I think it's $4 to $5 I guess, million in improvements at the entrance, improving turn lanes, traffic lights, etc., all mandated by the state standards. So that to me is saying Coulter should be doing something.
So her question, I don't know if everybody heard, but it's kind of going back to Coulter being responsible for the work on our roads. Again, I cannot speak on behalf of Coulter. Coulter was before my time, and I'm pretty sure everybody's time up here. So we would have to reach out to Coulter. I'm not comfortable speaking on behalf of them. That is definitely something that we will find out though, since obviously we have a lot of questions concerning that. Yes, sir.
What about the property owner at where the old gas station used to be? They should be able to pay for a portion of that signal improvements. And the property across the street, when they develop them, they should be able to pay for part of it also.
Yeah, if you'll just come up here, hon. I couldn't hear everything you said. I know it was something about the old gas station piece of property, but I couldn't hear the rest of it.
Well, I'm just saying, Coulter's got one corner, but you've also got the corner where the old gas station used to be. That developer should be able to pay a portion of that cost for a new traffic signal or traffic circle. The property across the street on 53, when that property gets developed, they should be able to pay for part of that cost also. And maybe Publix also on that property. So I don't think it should be all Coulter. You're still going to have other people that are going to be benefiting that intersection.
Okay, thank you. I was just trying to confirm, and it's kind of what I thought it was, but DOT is requiring the developers to take care of red lights there. So I missed the end of it, but I think your question was where the gas station is on Mr. Cole Hudgens' property. You're wanting to know about a red light there, correct? And if so, when he develops something, that would be discussed.
Years back, I worked for the city of Fullerton, California, and when we had an intersection that needed a traffic signal, they took the fees from the 4 property owners or the 3 property owners at that intersection for development. When they went to develop that property, they charged the fee. When they got the money from all 3 property corners or 4 property corners, then they had the traffic signal installed. But they also did a traffic study, not a traffic count, a traffic study of where people are going and where they're coming from. A traffic count does not do that.
All right, so I know exactly what property you're talking about right now. So as it stands with that property, it has not been developed and it is not impeding traffic flow. That specific piece of property is not affecting traffic, so we can't force them to put a red light there since they have done nothing with the property. Now, as far as going back to the Coulter piece, again, I mean, we would have to reach out to them to get that answer for you guys. But I definitely can. And we can make sure it gets put on our website as well. I got a lot of people out there shaking their heads. They want to know the answer to that. I agree. So we will reach out to our Coulter representatives. All right, did we have someone else? Input questions? Yes, sir. Mr. Ross. It did blow over.
On the start down here, I substitute. Good evening, everyone. It's ironic that we're not only having trouble hearing because of technical difficulties because of that. So a lot of traffic's gone through here, probably a few hundred cars in the time we've been sitting here. I don't really think, I don't know that much about traffic studies and all that. I ran up and down the roads as a DeKalb County fireman for about 25 years, so I saw the result of people running up and down the roads on a pretty regular basis. I don't think we have the time for Coulter to build 700 houses before they even start a traffic study. And I don't think we have the time to have Coulter build up 900 houses to start a second traffic study. We just don't have that kind of time. I'm going to be in Jennifer Lander's office tomorrow at noon. I'm going to get Coulter's side of this. She's a community director at the Twin Lakes Crestwind Development. She is the highest ranking person on site. So I'm going to just address what all I've been, what all we've been talking about. She's very aware of those situations right there because she comes in and out of here every day also. It's becoming just as hazardous for everybody as it is for anybody. So I'm going to be with her tomorrow. I'm going to find out from her exactly what Coulter is planning to do and what they're responsible for at those two intersections. Yes, ma'am. I was actually in Chief Hill's office this morning and I asked him that specifically. There's been 2 accidents at Twin Lakes and 53 so far this month. This month. And I think that's, and then the side truck flipped the pole down there at Peachtree and 53, but that was just misjudged clearance. So, yes. Thank you, Tom. Oh, I know. No, I can't deny Vanna her opportunity here. This shows, yeah. All that yellow down there at the bottom is us. It's 1,800 acres. This is Highway 53 and Peachtree Road.
More than double the size of the city.
Something?
That's crazy.
It's the new
Should
center
never
of
gone
town.
in.
Literally. Hoschton does not have a working traffic light at this time. Shouldn't the first one go to the center
the mayor that
of town?
we ran out. That was her doing. Kennerly is in Gwinnett County. I think one of them even got arrested and did time and everything. I think it was a DA or something like that.
He was speaking his piece, readdressing. Again, it all goes back to we're at the mercy of GDOT. Again, we can inquire, and like I said earlier, we have since our last council meeting reached out to our representative twice.
After she got recalled,
we will reach out again, but unfortunately, we're kind of at the mercy with them. They set the regulations. There's only so much that we should do. But I do agree. I mean, I drive on these same roads, so I get it. I promise. Yes, sir.
Mayor, of course, I live down in Crestwind as well.
Yes, sir.
And this young lady over here asked a question and I never heard an answer. Is due to the fact that this issue has come up several times. If one of these people have an accident down there, who's going to get the bill from the attorneys? Who's going to pay for that particular intersection? Should there be an accident, since the city has already been made aware multiple times, and at this point in time, they're saying it's not our problem, it's Coulter's problem.
No, that's not, if I came off that way, that's not how I'm meaning for it to come off. So if that is, I do apologize, but thank you. I'm sorry. But if I did to you, I do apologize. I guess there's just not a lot that we can do. I promise we are trying. We have reached out to our representatives specifically for this district. I mean, unfortunately, that's just the way of the world. If I could make it go in right now and snap my fingers, I promise I would. I drive that same road. I go that same way. But at this point where we are at, we are not able to put it in. Even if we wanted to just write that check and do it all just right now, it's up to the DOT if they approve it or not, or what they let us do on their routes.
Who are those representatives that are not reaching out to you?
Jennifer, who is the new representative? We have our direct district. Oh, I get it right here.
I'm just saying, so everybody, can we start reaching out? Yeah, can we start reaching out?
Absolutely. Let me pull up my email. We literally just re-emailed them this morning to try and get some more information. His name is Blake Jennings. B. Jennings, JENNINGS @dot.ga.gov. And that is our district representative for DOT.
Can you repeat that? Repeat that?
Sure. I can. I'll put it online as well, but for those who want me to repeat it, I'm happy to do so. His name is Blake Jennings, spelled BJENNINGS @dot.ga.gov. And Adam, you said you had
Speaking of people we represent, we have a gentleman here running for the DOC District 3. And I'd like to invite him up to introduce himself. His name is Mr. Steve Wittry.
Hey, it's good to see everybody this evening. Thanks for coming out and putting up with the noise. I see a lot of familiar faces. So this is kind of surprised. I didn't expect to speak tonight, but it is good to stand up and kind of talk to everybody. There's a lot going on in Hoschton. I was glad that Debbie got up and talked about Steadfast Farms. There's been a lot of conversation going on out there. Frankly, one of the things that I have a lot of interest in is the same thing that about 7,500 residents put at the top of their list when they took the county survey in 2019. And that's preserving the rural character of Jackson County. Growth is inevitable, it's coming, it has to be shaped, it has to be managed. And when I talk to groups, the one thing that I think underlies everything else that I'm intent on achieving, and Debbie kind of alluded to it, and I'm thankful that she did that, is we need a partnership between the county and not just Hoschton, but all 9 municipalities. There's a lot of people working on a lot of things, and too often we're working in silos and trying to make the best decisions, but sometimes we may find ourselves working at odds against each other. But the county isn't just Jackson County unincorporated. It's Brazelton, it's Hoschton, it's Pendergrass, it's Commerce, it's Jefferson. And we all need to have a vision, a shared vision for the county. And I made that suggestion on September the 24th. When the moratorium began, the county manager's office put together a task force, including the county commissioners and the planning commissioners. We're meeting every 2 weeks to look at the Unified Development Code to see what needs to be reviewed, needs to be changed. And towards the end of that first meeting, it became apparent that we were working on the right things for the most part, but if it was just in unincorporated Jackson County working on these things, we weren't going to make a whole lot of progress. So I suggested that we create a communication to the municipalities, Hoschton being one of those, and start to work on bringing those folks together. Now, I'm not suggesting that it's easy, but that has started. The communication went out October the 11th last year. I talked to Jim Shaw, the president of the Chamber of Commerce, suggested that they need to play a role in this as well. So they have gotten involved. And I think the conversation about Steadfast Farms, I don't know what the plans for it are. I spent some time with Debbie. I toured the property. I've gotten Tom Crow, the chairman, and Jim Hicks, another one of the county commissioners out there, toured that with them this week. And it's got such tremendous potential. It's one of those things that when we look at as a county, what do we want properties like that to look like? And how do we manage it? We're talking about a lot of money. But I refuse to believe that it can't be done.
But that's an example of how the municipalities and the county can work together on these different things. I'm glad to hear that I wasn't aware that impact fees were in place in Hoschton. We have been studying the impact fees for the county, about to make a recommendation to the Board of Commissioners so that we do the same thing. Any new residential, industrial, commercial development will require impact fees that we can start improving the roads, the county roads. State roads, that's going to require, like the other issue with traffic light, that requires GDOT. And it's odd that oftentimes there have been suggestions made. For example, anybody that travels up 53 there at Ednaville, talk about putting in a roundabout there. So I think that's 23 or 24. And the county has even offered up money, and they're getting federal funds, so they're not accepting the money from the county. We're trying to make this go faster. The county is very involved with Gainesville Hall Metropolitan Transit Authority or Development Authority, and trying to not pressure, that's not the right word, but trying to persuade GDOT to move some of the more critical projects further up on the timeline. Some of these things are so far out, but the population growth is really stretching the need for some of these things. So there is a lot of active work going on in the background to make some of these things happen a lot faster. There's a lot of needs. You can look at all the different areas in the county. But as Mayor O'Leary indicated, anything done on a state highway is going to have GDOT recommendation. That's where that starts. I agree, the stoplight up there is absolutely necessary, but GDOT's got to start that. So I'm glad they put the website out there. Talk to people. Talk to the people that you can get a hold of and let them know your thoughts. And see if we can push this up a little further. So anyway, I appreciate the opportunity to address you all. We're working hard. The last thing I want to say to you is, and I probably don't need to say it to this group, please vote, okay? Early voting starts next week. There are 17 early voting days beginning May the 2nd through May the 20th. The election day is May the 24th. Please get out to vote. Please take everybody you know who's eligible to go out and vote. Bad things can happen when we don't vote. So don't stay home. I personally am an early voter. I know some people like to really save it for election day, and that's awesome. I'm always concerned that something's going to come up that's out of my control, and I want my vote to be heard, and I hope you'll do the same. So please get out and vote. It's extremely important. So thanks very much for a few minutes, and you all have a great evening. And if you have any questions, reach out to me. My website's out there. There's a lot of folks here that know who I am and know how to get a hold of me. So let me know what I can do for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. I just wanted to mention the Steve, I just wanted to mention the county is actually hired the city of Hoschton's planner for the impact fees since he did such a great job for us. Jerry White's. That's who it was. All right. Speaking of representatives, we have another gentleman here who is running for the State Senate, District 47. I'd like to invite Ross Harvin up to the stage and just tell y'all what he can do for our county.
Well, this was impromptu, not planned, so I don't have anything prepared, as well as Steve. My name's Ross Harvin. I'm running for State Senate District 47, which encompasses most of Jackson County, about 3/4 of Jackson County, some of Barrow County, some of Clark, and all of Madison County. I live in Jackson County. I do not live in Hoschton. I'm in Jackson County incorporated. So I just came out here because I wanted to listen to everybody's concerns and see what's going on in the community. A little bit about myself is I'm a land surveyor, a Marine. I've served 17 years in the Marine Corps, veteran of war in Afghanistan. I have 4 children that go to Jackson County schools. And obviously, traffic is a problem. And what they're talking about with the state route being a state route, your representation needs to be your state senator, your state house representation. They should be your voice when it comes to GLAD, applying pressure. You know, the city council can do so much, but you need to be able to lean on everybody in our, that's our representation. So I can assure you, if I'm elected to be your next state senator, I'll do everything I can to help, because, you know, my son plays ball at this field right back here, and it's death-defying sometimes to turn on this road right here. So I know what you're talking about. I live on Creek Nation Road, so I don't have to deal with it as much. But we take, for example, just in the county alone, Skelton Road, there's a new high school there. We have a lot of traffic issues. But a lot of our roads are state routes. The state has control of that. It's going to take people working with the commissioners and the city councils to make a change and work towards progress. And I'm not going to take up a bunch of your time on other stuff. Wasn't planning on speaking, but definitely vote. Vote for whoever you want, but make sure to vote, because people died for that right. Thank you for your time. Go ahead. Sorry. That lives in Jackson County? No, I'm the only one that lives in Jackson County. Well, I'll tell you one other thing. If you want to talk to the chairman of the Transportation Committee, that's your state senator right now. So maybe he can do something. Thank you.
Does anybody else have anything they wanted to add or ask? What was that? No? All right, guys. Well, we do appreciate you guys coming out, taking time out of your evening. If you do have questions, our emails are very easy to find. Mine is on my Facebook page, my mayor page. I mean, it's out there. So if you need to get in contact with me or council members, it's very, very easy to do so. So I encourage you to share your thoughts with us, your concerns, because if we don't hear from you guys, we don't know what's going on out there. So I encourage you guys to reach out to us so that we can do our absolute best to see what we can do for everybody. And if nobody else have any questions, then, oh, Miss Debbie.
I'll just offer to the council that if you would like to see Steadfast Farms on a personal tour, come see me.
If you guys want to do a personal tour of Steadfast, Miss Debbie will do it. And I have done it with her and her husband.
Debbie on horseback?
All right, thank you guys. Y'all have a great evening. Thanks for coming.
Over there now.